Okay, today we are going to tackle something that can feel, well, a little intimidating. The 12 English verb tenses. But I promise you, if that number sounds like a lot, don't sweat it. By the end of this, you're going to have a super simple map to understand all of them. You ever felt your head spinning trying to figure out the difference between have been doing and had done? Yeah? Well, trust me, you are not alone. It's a huge sticking point for pretty much everyone learning English. But here's the secret. It's not just a bunch of random rules. There's actually a system to it, a logic behind the whole thing. And our goal today is to basically crack that code for you, so you have a simple framework that just makes sense. All right, let's dive right in. First up, we've got the present tenses. You can think of these as your go-to tools for talking about anything related to the now.
So let's do a quick run-through. You've got the present simple, which is for your regular habits and universal truths. You know, I walk to work every day. Simple. Then there's present continuous for things happening right this second, or around now, like she's working from home this week. Now, the present perfect is where it gets interesting. It's this cool bridge from the past to the present. Saying, I have seen that movie implies that it's relevant now, maybe because you can talk about it. And finally, present perfect continuous is all about how long something's been going on. I've been learning English for 2 years. See, each one has its own specific job to do.
Okay, so we've got the now covered. Let's hop in a little time machine and go back to the then. We're talking about actions that are completely finished, totally in the past. The past simple is the easiest one for sure. It's for actions that are done and dusted, like I visited my grandma last weekend. Over. The past continuous is great for setting the scene in a story. I was watching TV when you called. It gives you the background action. Now, the past perfect, this one's cool. It's for the past of the past. It describes an action that happened before another past action. I had already eaten when they arrived. Eating happened first. And just like its present tense cousin, the past perfect continuous is all about duration. How long something was happening before another past event. I had been waiting for 30 minutes.
Okay, let's pause here, because this is one of the trickiest parts of English. Past simple versus present perfect. Think of the past simple like a photo of a finished event. It's locked away in the past. But the present perfect? It's different. It always has a connection to right now. When you say, I have seen that movie, the unspoken part is, so I know the story now. It's that present result that makes all the difference.
All right, we've handled the now and the then. So let's look ahead. Let's talk about the future and all the different ways we can describe what hasn't happened yet.
So for the future, you've got 4 main tools. Future simple, usually with will, is for those spur-of-the-moment decisions and promises. Oh, the phone's ringing, I'll get it. Then, future continuous lets you picture yourself in the middle of an action at a future time. Don't call me at 10 a.m., I'll be working. Future perfect is all about setting a deadline for a completed action. By 5 p.m., I will have finished this report. And yet, you guessed it, the future perfect continuous talks about the duration leading up to a future point. By April, I'll have been working here for 10 years.
Now, a little pro tip here. That last one we just talked about, the future perfect continuous, look, it's good to know, especially if you have an exam coming up, but in everyday real-life conversation, you will almost never hear it. So honestly, don't stress about mastering it. Focus your energy on the others. So, what is the big takeaway from all this? The most important thing is to stop thinking of these as 12 separate, random rules. That's just a recipe for a headache. Instead, think of them as a toolkit. And inside that toolkit, you've got 4 little families of tools, and each family does a very specific job.
And this right here, this is the whole system in one simple chart. The simple tenses, they're for single, complete actions. The continuous tenses, they're for actions that are in progress. The perfect tenses, their job is to link 2 different points in time. And the perfect continuous tenses, they have one job and one job only, to talk about duration, how long. Once this clicks, you're not memorizing 12 rules anymore. You're just choosing the right tool for what you want to say. It's all about logic.
So there you have it. You've got the framework, you've got the toolkit. The only thing left to do is to start using it. So looking at this whole system, what's the 1/10 or maybe 1/10 family that you're going to focus on and practice first?